Greetings, comrades. I'm Jenny. Welcome to Modern Socialist. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the bigotry of Boris Johnson. But first, can I just ask, if you're enjoying this video or agreeing with what I'm saying, please give me a thumbs up, share the video. Let's help get our message out there. Thank you. Right. As part of his mini-Trump culture war, Boris Johnson has decided to drop his own party's plans to allow transgender people to self-identify in the gender they feel most comfortable in. He has also decided to raise the stakes by bringing in a law that would make it illegal for men, i.e. trans women, to use ladies' toilets and changing rooms. This would humiliate the many thousands of non-cis women in this country, as we would be forced to go into the men's toilets where we would be obviously singled out for being different. And when out shopping for clothes, which as a girl is one of my great pleasures, we would have to take the clothes we have chosen and march over to the men's department, often on another floor, and parade for all to see. It is already hard enough for trans people to come out. This ritual humiliation will just make it even harder as more emotional pain is piled upon us. This shouldn't surprise us though, as the following will make clear how Johnson is prepared to use casual bigotry to get a cheap laugh and to score a point as a political opportunist. This man with no empathy feels absolutely no guilt for all the pain he has caused us and many others for his own political gain. Now Johnson is showing his transphobia to add to his snobbery, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia and Islamophobia. Let's try and organise Johnson's vials into some sort of order. First, snobbery. Talking about British men in The Spectator in 1995, he said, quote, "If he is blue collar, he is likely to be drunk, criminal, aimless, feckless and hopeless, and perhaps claiming to suffer from low self-esteem brought on by unemployment." About single mothers, he wrote, "Ill-raised, ignorant, aggressive and illegitimate." The absolute hypocrisy here stinks. How many single mothers has he pumped and dumped? About poorer families where the woman has to work, he claims that they are unloved and undisciplined children who are more likely to become hoodies, neats and mug you on the street corner. Let's look at racism. About a Chinese air stewardess in The Spectator in 2003, he wittily mocked her for saying, "Please, sir," and "Very sorry." Yeah. In the Telegraph in 2002, he wrote two of his most foul and racist statements. Quote, "It is said that the Queen has come to love the Commonwealth, partly because it supplies her with regular cheering crowds of flag-waving pickaninnies." He continued, "They say Tony Blair is shortly off to the Congo. No doubt the AK-47s will fall silent and the pangas will stop their hacking of human flesh and their tribal warriors will all break out in watermelon smiles to see the big white chief touch down his big white British taxpayer-funded bird. Doesn't he even know that cargo cults were in the South Pacific, not Africa? And hasn't he just painted his own plane at taxpayers' expense. In his novel, 72 Virgins, Johnson wrote about Jewish oligarchs who control the media, hook-nosed Arabs, and even referred to black people using the N-word. Our Prime Minister wrote that young people have an almost Nigerian interest in money and gadgets of all kinds. That was while he was editor of the Spectator magazine back in 1999. Coming forward to 2018, he notoriously compared Muslim women to bank robbers and letterboxes and said he would ask a person with a niqab to remove it before speaking to her. In 1999, Johnson wrote a column deriding the Macpherson report and scoffed at the idea that there was systemic racism in the police force and complained that officers nowadays were too busy on racial awareness programmes to respond to crime reports. Some examples of his sexism. While Johnson often favours using femininity as an insult, such as calling David Cameron a girly swat, he doesn't realise that many would take that as a great compliment. And I see it as an apt description of who I am. And anyway, for me, calling someone a Tory is the ultimate insult. On leaving the editorship of The Spectator in 2005, he offered this advice to his successor on how to handle the publisher Kimberly Quinn. If she comes into the office with some helpful suggestions for boosting circulation, rather than listen to her speak, the former journalist advised Matthew Dancona to just pat her on the bottom and send her on her way. Again, with a total lack of self-awareness, in 1995, he claimed it was outrageous that married couples should pay for single mothers' desire to procreate independently of men. But maybe he is consistent after all. This is the man who sends taxis to women he has knocked up to take them to the abortion clinic, along with an envelope stuffed with £500 to pay for the procedure. Naturally, he has packed his bags and buggered off by the time she gets back. And finally, homophobia. In the Telegraph in 1998, he infamously called gay men tank-topped bum boys. In the Spectator in 2000, he railed against Labour's appalling agenda encouraging the teaching of homosexuality in schools. In 2006, he even sympathised with Robert Mugabe's description of Labour as composed of gay gangsters, saying there was truth in that observation. He added that the Tory leadership should speak up more strongly against gays in the military. And in a 2002 book, he said, if gay marriage was okay, I saw no reason in principle why a union should not be consecrated between 3 men, as well as 2 men, or indeed 3 men and a dog. So, with this short list of examples of bigotry, we can now see clearly that we have misunderstood Boris Johnson, and that, in fact, he has a fine intellect, a great understanding of humanity, and sparkles with a 6-dimensional wit. Yeah, or not! But anyway, I hope this has helped you, comrades, to understand how bad the man who occupies number 10 Downing Street is, and that we must do everything we can to stand up to him and the whole of this disgraceful Tory government. Right. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like. Any questions, any comments, leave them down below and I will have a read. If you want more of my content, please subscribe. Ring the bell to be notified of when that content's coming out. And thank you all for watching. So long, comrades.